Bob, this week on the cover of Business Week and Time magazine, Taylor Swift, saying Taylor Swift is the music industry. And this is the week where she pulled all her gear off Spotify. What do you make of this?
Well, look, Taylor Swift is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met. Putting age not a factor. And
really?
I think what she's come to is that, look, there are a couple sides. Do consumers want to rent all the music in the world for a fair? Absolutely, who wouldn't? I think what she's bringing up is the downside of that is, of course, you've taken the value of a song from $1.29, which they were sort of complaining about, to a penny or so. And she's saying that's not worth it for me. And she also thinks those kinds of services where you're sort of renting all the music in the world for one price causes consumers to stop thinking about buying music, and they just think music's for free. I just have my music.
But isn't that where we've moved over the course of the last 8 years? Can one artist completely turn around the music industry?
There's always a moment in time at which someone says, when things start working and the economics don't work, because, by the way, the artists aren't making money, Spotify's not making a profit, and, by the way, it's a wonderful thing to have as a consumer, but at a certain point there has to be an economics below it. If you remember in the late 90s, there were free ISPs. We were charging $20 for AOL, and people came along and said, I'll just give it to you for free. Guess what? At the end of the day, the consumers loved it. The economics didn't support it, and they changed the business model. They went out of business or did whatever. And I think what Taylor's done is just said, look, I actually want to be paid for being an artist.
But that's because she can. We know that Taylor Swift speaks for Taylor Swift. But does she speak for everybody else? Spotify, for some artists, is good, right? They make some money that they might not be making otherwise.
You know what? I can't speak to that because I don't see the numbers. But if you've got $10...
And whether it's... I mean, it could be any other streaming
give you the economics.
Service, yeah.
If you've got... well, it's not streaming. It's on-demand services because I want to keep that separate. It is $10 a month. I have to, for that $10, have to split it up among every known artist that you might ever listen to, or $10 a month would buy 10 songs. So what it does is the $10 gets spread so thin that it's not a lot of money to anybody, and I think that's the complaint from the artists. Now, I think if you ask the Spotify people, they'll say, give us time and we'll build it so big that there'll be so many people.
What they are saying.
And by the way, the price may go to $20 or $30 a month or something, so we pay money.
But in the meantime,
I have no idea where it is. Well, and I think the bigger issue is, and there's a great debate in the industry, both sides of it, is are you training people to think music's free instead of you have to buy your music in your music collection?
Well, what's the answer?
I don't have a dog in that hunt. I think, look, there are arguments on both sides, but I think the numbers that Taylor talked about are true. I mean, I think her record company said she only got $500,000 for all the stuff on Spotify for the whole year, every song she ever had. And she's a major artist that you would think would be, sort of concentrating to her airplay. So I think this is a big issue the industry is wrestling with. Everybody wants to do the right thing. And, motives for everyone are really, really good. There are conflicting views about what the future is and how models shake out. And I think often things change because one person does one thing. And I think the thing you have to watch for, because, by the way, after Taylor did it, Jason Aldean, huge country artist, did the same thing. And I think everyone's watching it saying, is this the moment? Do economics change? Does the relationship change? Does the service change? One of the arguments is, look, don't give it away for free. Charge the subscription service, which is why we gave you the music. And I think those kinds of debates are going on, too.
Why not have a more dynamic pricing model? Thank you. Whereby, say, Taylor Swift or Jason Aldean or whomever could say, like cable negotiates with content producers, right? We're prepared to pay this much for that. The content producer says, take a hike, right? We're not prepared to give it away for this. Taylor Swift could say the same thing to Spotify, or to Pandora, or to Beats, or whomever.
By the way, it may be that. And look, you sort of had that with iTunes. And, of course, what's happened with Spotify is it completely cannibalized downloads. So instead of it being incremental revenue, it turned out to be instead of the other revenue.
Zero sum,
and I think that's what people are saying, whoa, wait a minute. That wasn't what I hoped for. And so I think people are working on it. And I think they're having some really interesting debates about it. And, we have a lot of consumer data that we're looking at. And we share with people because, obviously, we get a lot of radio station play. And on the radio stations, there's some services that retail the music, and there are other services that promote the music. and we're on the promote side. We don't offer music on demand. You can't build a collection around our products. But we do tell you about, we did Taylor Swift on top of the rooftop in New York City and had the Empire State Building, dancing to all of her music with the Empire State Building folks as great partners there. So, when you have stuff like that, we understand how you promote. We live with these artists' careers because we're their major promotional device. And when they get down to selling, we want them to make money and we want them to have successful careers because they're going to be around a long time, make great music, and that's good for us all.